Okay, so welcome to Kitely, and let's talk about it. We're going to be discussing further the seaside, and I'd just like to ask anybody a little observation test. Can you see any difference between this week and last week? Is anything changed? Between yesterday and today, if you were in yesterday's session.
You mean the difference, maybe?
Sorry, Monique. I think I'm going to have to turn my volume up. No, I'm going deaf. It's terrible. Okay.
Uh, dunes. Yeah, like dunes. Yeah, dunes.
Yeah, we got sand dunes. Now, how can sand dunes suddenly appear along a beach? How could that happen? They weren't here last week. They weren't even here yesterday. What might have happened? Not so much a sandstorm, no. That's more of a deserty thing.
We're working hard but on your landscape, but I would say that maybe or the natural way would be because of the wind.
The wind can bring the sand in or out, yeah? What's more likely, though, considering where we are?
After a tsunami.
The wind or the weather, the tide, yeah. If there's a storm, a heavy storm, literally this is one of the fun things about, careful going into the dunes, Monique. You know, that we talked about being buried in the sand. Yep, could happen.
Uh-huh.
So yes, last week we talked about the tides and storms, and it can happen that overnight the whole landscape changes. And living by the sea is lovely, but it does have its drawbacks, which includes, as you can see along the promenade here, there are piles of sand which will need to be swept back onto the beach. And things can just change overnight. One big storm, and it could all be gone. There was a news story we might read next week, actually, about what that actually happened to a community. They lost their beach overnight. 20 years later, it came back again. Oh, watch Poldark, exactly,
Yeah.
April. Actually, April,
But
we'll
in
discuss
Ireland-
that next week, if you don't mind, because I'd already prepared something for this week about, the British seaside resort. But yes, the picture you shared was lovely, and Poldark country is very specific landscape. So maybe next week we can move
Yeah.
along the beach a bit over towards the cliffs, and we can discuss
Yeah,
that
but
vocab.
next week
Okay?
there is no session.
Oh no, there's the next time, the next session, I should say. Thank you. Yes, thank you. No, I've got to go to Frankfurt next week. I've got to go into the city to look at some. Yeah, it's all a bit businessy next week, and then I'm away, and then yeah. So thanks for the reminder. Okay, I'll be giving a little announcement on Friday anyway, just to warn everybody. But check the calendar, which I should do myself. I always say, when I say next week, I kind of mean next session. I need to change my vocabulary a bit so that I stop thinking in time and start thinking in sessions. So the next time we come back, we'll move down the coast and we'll have a look at some more of the vocabulary you can use for Poldark country. Okay, so we're going to move inland. We're going to move out to the sea a bit. As you can see, the tide is out. So follow me. There's a couple of other things that have changed. You'll have to fight your way through the sand. Okay. And out to the shoreline. And this is one of my favourite pastimes when I'm at the seaside, I have to admit. So some of the rocks are, you can lie on one, you can sit on the other. The others aren't scripted. So Monique's already got herself a nice position.
I make myself comfortable.
Yeah, make yourself at home. But do be careful. It's not all it's cracked up to be, this... So there's this one in front of tram you can lie on. If you just right click and sit, you can lie on it. And I suggest the rest of us just sit where we're standing. Okay. There you go. I'll just sit cross-legged here. Okay, here comes Shiny, fighting her way through the sand. Now, we're going to do some reading today. I'm going to try doing it a little differently. Okay. So what I'm going to try to do is share a document with you on presentation mode. Okay.
You are sure that the tide is not doesn't go in, Ellen?
The tide is going out. I had a look at the times. I looked at the tide table, so we should be okay. Oh, Shiny's decided Traum needs to be buried in the sand. No, you can't move me. I would suggest you sit to make yourself safe from Shiny. Okay. Just sit on the rock you were sat on, Monique. It's fine. There's one rock with sit on it and another rock with lay on it. You can lie on one and sit on the other, okay? Okay, so let's see how this is going to work. And I'm not sure if it will work. I have no idea. But I should be able to present some slides. Bear with me. I need to just find the audience tools. Ooh. Let me see. No, that's not working. Presentation, view, present. This is a kind of yeah, what can I say? A test. I know what I can do. So share with others, get shareable link, can view. Okay, I'll try this, see if this works. And I'll present in a thing. Okay. Oh, this is fun. Okay, so here's the link. And there's going to be a little bit of reading to start with. Now, Monique, I did warn you.
No permission, Lynn.
Oh.
For me.
Oh. Hang on. Do you know what the danger of putting your feet in the water in rock pools is, Monique?
Oh, the crab? Crabs? I
Yep.
don't know. Actually, it's just in front of me.
Yep.
And it's a little bit big.
He's a big crab. Sorry, I couldn't resist.
Sorry.
But that's why you've got a net by you. You can go crabbing, literally. Okay, I'm just going to go into the thing and I'll just change. Oh, I'll change the view. Exit. I've got some people asking to come in. It should have shared. Oh, I see. No, it's okay. I've got it. Okay. Anyone with the link can view. Okay. Done. Okay, it should work now. Okay.
Yep.
Good.
It's working.
So, the second slide I want you to go to, because the whole presentation is called I Do Like to Be Beside the Seaside. And it is a song. I'm not going to ask you to sing it unless you want to. Okay. So, if you can all see the second slide. And then, April, I think you were here first. So if you could read the first verse.
The first verse. Now everybody likes to spend their summer holiday. Oh, is that from Cliff Richard? No.
No, that's we're all going on a summer holiday.
Summer holiday.
This is much older than Cliff Richard's one, okay? This is an old song, okay?
Okay. Now everybody likes to spend their summer holiday down beside the side of the silvery sea. I'm no exception to the rule. In fact, if I'd me way, I'd reside by the side of the silvery sea.
Very
Hmm.
good. So
Because
to reside. Now there's a little bit of slang in there. In fact, if I'd me way, which how would you say that in correct grammar? How could you say that and be grammatically correct? Try again, Shiny. It should work now. I'd forgotten. I'd set the permissions to network members, of which I'm the only one at the moment. So it should work now, Shiny. So how can you say
I
if
would
I'd me
find,
way?
if
Monique?
I would
I
find
have
my
my
way.
way,
Yes, if I had my way. But of course, that wouldn't sit in with the rhythm of the song. So they've just. And some people do speak like this, I warn you. Or if I'd me way, I wouldn't be here. I'd be on holiday beside the sea in real life. So you do have to get used to alternative English, non-standard English if you like, but it's if I had my way. In other words, if I had a choice in the matter, okay?
and what is the reside then?
To be beside the seaside. Now, beside can mean, for example, Shiny is standing beside Traum, okay, and there's a crab beside Monique's foot. You can be beside yourself, which means you're very angry. And it can also mean instead of, beside that, beside this, I like. Yeah. So, okay, it's working good, Shiny. Good, good, good. Okay.
To
So,
reside, it has to do with to live as well, right? To
belief in what
believe.
context?
When you reside in a, I don't know, maybe in an empty place or in a, I don't know, or in a isolated place, for example, when you reside, is not something like that?
Oh, reside. Sorry, I heard beside. I am going deaf.
No, no, no,
Actually, I've got a
reside.
bit of noise from to reside. No, not really. It doesn't really mean to be on your own. It's basically where you live. Okay.
That's what I say. It has to do with to live
Oh
in
yeah,
a
to
place.
live, but not alone.
No, yeah, I was just making an
Yeah,
example.
to reside can mean to
Uh-huh.
live. To be beside, there are two. There are more meanings of beside. It can be next to, like Shiny is next to Traum. Shiny is standing beside Traum. It can mean to be supportive of. Okay. It can mean to compare something. Yeah. If you compare yourself with someone else. And it can mean apart from. Everyone here is sitting beside Shiny. In other words, Shiny isn't sitting, but everybody else is. Okay?
So which word did you answer me to? Is it reside or beside? Because I asked reside,
Oh, you asked
and what
about
was
to
your
reside. Okay, to reside.
yeah?
That's to live. To live somewhere. I'd
Okay.
like to reside beside the sea. In other words, I want to live close to the sea or next to the sea. A dream of many Brits. Don't understand it myself,
So,
but people do dream about living beside the sea. Okay?
Monique, you heard me saying reside, not beside.
Yes, because I was worried about
and
the
and
definition because I thought, oh my God, but reside
Okay,
has to do with
yeah,
to
yeah,
live.
reside is angry, angry
I
to
was like,
yourself, huh?
yeah, I was
Then
like, what?
No, that's to be beside yourself. If you say I'm beside myself, yeah, I was beside myself. It doesn't mean you were standing next to yourself. It means you were very angry. Okay, but to reside somewhere, to reside, it's like from resident. Yeah. So if you're a resident somewhere, that's where you reside. Okay. Yeah, I have got Tram's microphone buzzing in my ear as well, so that's my excuse. Okay. And I could say to you, April, you like reggae. What other music do you like besides that, in addition to? Okay.
Okay.
Okay, so not beside. Sorry, I really did hear beside, but anyway. Okay, to live, to have your home. It can also mean to stay somewhere. Okay, I'm residing at a hotel at the moment, whereas to stay and to live are quite separate. Yeah, I'm staying in a hotel means temporarily. I'm living in a hotel. That means, wow, you must have a lot of money, or you've got no home. But to reside somewhere can be either stay or live. So it's quite a useful little word. Okay. Okay, so next verse. Let's get Tram to read it because she's already got her mic on.
Sorry, Lynn.
It's all
That
right.
wasn't it.
I'm just using you
me-
as an excuse for my terrible hearing.
Sorry. Okay, the next paragraph.
Yes, please. The next verse. Remember, it's a song, so it's a verse. Okay.
Okay, so the whole block. But when you're just the common or gardensmith or Jones or Brown at business up in town, you've got to settle down. You have your money all the year till summer comes around. Then away you go to a place you know where the cockle shells are found.
Very good. Just one thing, you have your money all year. It's you save your money all the year. Okay, you save up for your holiday. Okay, to save.
Save. Oh, yes, you save. What have I
Yes,
said?
you said have,
Oh,
and that wasn't
You
my
say-
hearing.
yes. Okay, you will probably be right. Okay, so I mute my mic officially.
Thank you. No, I don't know why, but every so often it just goes. I don't know if it's just me or if it's happening to
No.
everybody.
Uh, I think Link
Or-
could be the from the laptop. I'm using the motor or the engine. I don't know.
Fine.
It's probably
an
a
old-
hard drive just cooling down a bit, maybe. I don't think it's got an
Oh,
engine.
apologize.
It's all right. No, it's okay. I'm just using you as an excuse. It's fine. It's good to have an excuse. Okay, so any questions about those two verses?
What are cockle shells?
Good question. Okay, well, if you look in the sand, especially the golden sand next to the rocks, you can see shells. Okay, and cockle shells are a particular crustacean, if you like. I think they come down as a crustacean, cockles, but they're a delicacy, especially in the south of England. The cockle. Okay, and it's a little critter. Okay, it's edible. It's a mollusk, not a crustacean. No, the crab is a crustacean. The cockle is a mollusk. Okay, and they live pretty much all around the world because, of course, they travel with the tides. They travel with the currents, but they're not long shells. They're sort of round. They look like very small, round, little fat oysters in a way, but they're much smaller than an oyster. They're not. I don't think they're related to the oyster. Okay, but maybe they are. But anyhow, there's a lovely idiom to warm the cockles of your heart. Have you ever heard of it? To warm the cockles of your heart.
Will we find them in the Netherlands as well? They are small mussels.
No, they're not mussels. Mussels are longer and black. Cockles tend to have stripes and colours. If you just go onto Google images, put safe search on, especially with the COCK, and you look up cockles, then you'll find what they look like. They're round, ridged, and they have almost a striped pattern on them. Sadly, the stripes have changed colour because of pollution over the years. So you quite often find these sort of mucky, dirty, oily stripes in them from where they've ingested plastic and oil and the like. Okay, so but they are a mollusk, but they do get eaten with a pin. I don't like them personally. They're just, I don't like oysters either. So, but yes, you get them in the Netherlands. You get them in France, on the beach. Okay, you found them. Good. Have you ever eaten them?
Sorry, not this kind of limb. Not that I know.
Okay, okay. If you go to a pub in London, quite often they'll come round selling them. And yes, cockles and mussels, alive, alive, oh, if you know the song, in Dublin's fair city where the maids are so pretty. I first, something, something, sweet Millie Malone. She wheels her wheelbarrow through streets far and narrow, singing cockles and mussels, alive, alive, oh. So the cockles are the round, lighter coloured shells, shiny, and the mussels are the darker, longer shells. They're both edible. Okay. The shells are beautiful, yes. I mean, as children, I don't know if you were ever on the beach, you probably collected shells. The little critters inside them, not so beautiful, I have to say. And not the sort of thing I would want to eat. Look too much like something that might come out of your nose when you sneeze. If you know what I mean. But to warm the cockles of your heart, do you have any idea what that might refer to? Something that, can you think of anything that might warm the cockles of your, yeah, something that makes you feel happy. Okay. Content, just to be
scared.
happy.
I would be scared if you talk to me about cockles. So I thought that was something unpleasant, actually, but yeah.
Well,
Happy, no.
when you look at the little critters inside, yeah, they're not that nice look. I think let them be, let them live in the sea. They're very good for cleaning the sea, actually. They are, but you can buy them in jars, you can buy them fresh in restaurants. They're often used in seafood. So if you've ever had a seafood something or other with pasta or pizza, or you might have found a few of these little critters cooked on them. Okay. Okay, so next person to read. I think the next person I saw was Monique. So Monique, if you'd like to read the next verse.
Okay. Oh, I do like to be beside the seaside. I do like to be beside the sea. I do like to stroll along the prom. It means promenade or promenade, right?
Promenade, yeah.
Where the brass band, or promenade. Yeah, I think it's American, I guess.
Yeah.
Where the brass bands play tiddle pom pom.
Tiddly pom pom.
Pom pom.
Yeah. So that is what we call the verse, and it goes, block your ears. Oh, I do like to be beside the seaside. Oh, I do like to be beside the sea. Oh, I do like to stroll along the prom where the brass bands play tiddly pom pom.
Okay.
Okay, I warned you. Okay, so if you carry on reading, Monique, because this is also part of the verse.
Okay. So just let me be beside the seaside. I'll be beside myself with glee. I'm
And
just
there's
guessing
lots.
because
You can say boys here, and there's lots of boys beside. I should like to be beside.
Okay. Beside the seaside.
Beside the sea. Very good, very good. Okay, Shiny, you've got a little bit of the story now. If you'd like to read the next verse.
So just let me be beside the seaside. I'll be beside myself with glee. And there's lots of girls beside. I should like to be beside the seaside, beside the seaside.
Beside the seaside, beside the sea. Okay.
Beside the sea.
You're adding in a little beside there. Okay, Marco's joining us. So, April, if you could carry on the story for us.
Let's see. Now William Sykes. Now William. Every time I want to say, I hear Trump.
No, this is Chinese.
Yeah, mute,
Chinese.
mute.
Chinese.
Don't forget to mute.
It's so funny. Okay. Now William Sykes for burglary been out to work one night and filled his bag with cash and jewels and plate, and Constable Brown felt no surprise when William hove in sight. Said he, "The hours you are keeping are far too late." So he grabbed him by the collar and lodged him safe and sound in jail. Next morning, looking pale, Bill told a tearful tale. The judge said, "For a couple of months I'm sending you away." Said Bill, "How kind. Well, if you don't mind, where I spent my holiday."
Very good.
Oh, I do. I like the beat. So we can start again.
Yep, go on, everybody. All together, end of the verse. Oh, I do like to be beside the seaside. I do like to be beside the sea. I do like to stroll along the prom, where the brass band plays fiddly bom bom. So just let me be beside the seaside. I'll be beside myself with glee. And there's lots of boys beside. I should like to be beside the seaside, beside the sea.
Oh my god.
Very good.
What happened? Guys, I think
Everybody failed us but you, Monique. You are part of the Elian choir. Hello, Rima. Rima's probably very confused.
What the hell?
What the heck have I joined? Oh, never mind, Rima. Never mind. Okay, so can somebody let me just see if I can find the link to share with Rima. Oh, thank you, Monique.
I did it.
Yay, thank you very much. You're very kind. Because I've got the other thing open at the moment. Okay, so what we're going to do is just read a little bit about the history of this kind of seaside, this tiddly-om-pom-pom seaside with brass bands and other things. Okay, so if you move on to the second slide, okay, which is slide 3. And Traum, if you could read the text on that slide, and you can see a photograph there as well. Okay.
I am on the text you sent. We just read from.
Yeah, and if
you mean this one?
Click on the next slide.
The next slide.
Slide 3. You should be able to see.
A moment. One, two. Okay, I got it.
Should start with Margate, yeah? About Margate.
Yes,
Yeah. Okay, good. Phew.
What easier to find? But very easy to find. But I need time, as you know. Okay. Margate in Kent is regarded as England. first seaside resort. From the 1750s, it drew Londoners to its beaches, Margate Sands. The bathing machines in use at Margate were described in 1805 as four-wheelie marriages. Sorry, is my screen dirty? Wheelie marriages. For wheelie. Marriages. I'm not sure.
Okay,
Covered
let me
with
help you.
canvas.
Let me help you. It's four-wheeled carriages.
Yes. Oh, sorry. The sea is covered. I mean, the screen is dirty.
I can't believe you've got a dirty screen, Tram. That does not fit with my image of
Screen.
you. Your screen is
Must be
dirtier
a
than your
fly.
windows then.
Poor for flying. Sorry. So I
Okay,
tried
four-wheeled carriages. So four-wheeled, as in there are four wheels on it. Yeah, a four-wheeled carriage. I mean, you wouldn't bother with a car to say it's a four-wheeled car, would you? But you might say about a truck, an eight-wheeled truck, or a 16-wheeled lorry. Truck, lorry, British, American. Okay. So yeah, four-wheeled carriage, because some carriages had more or fewer wheels, two-wheeled carriage, four-wheeled carriage, six-wheeled carriage, etc. Okay?
Okay. Four-wheel carriages covered with canvas and having at one end of them an umbrella of the same materials which is let down to the surface of the water so that the buffer descending from the machine by a few steps is concealed from the public view, whereby the most refined female is enabled to enjoy the advantages of the sea with the strictest delicacy.
The strictest...
Strictest. With the strictest delicacy.
The strictest delicacy, yes. Now, often we talk about food as being a delicacy. Some people consider cockles a delicacy, okay? But you can also use it to mean the way in which you do something. And if you can remember, cast your mind back to when we did the swimsuits, okay? Can you remember the Victorian swimsuits, which... we sort of went from Victorian swimsuits to bikinis to burkinis, if you remember. It was quite a while ago. But the Victorian ladies, when they went swimming, they wanted to swim, but they didn't want to show their ankles or their elbows or their shoulders. And so they had these bathing carriages that carried them in safety to the water, where they could just get into the water and then the water would cover their blushes. They were very delicate little snowflakes back then. Okay.
And how did these carriages go then, Lynn?
They
to
were
the sea?
on wheels and sometimes on rails. Okay, some of them are being restored now in the UK because they're a sort of... oh, trams crashed. They are a sort of part of our history, if you like. Hi, tough guy. So yes, they're
But
they're
somebody
not
has
in
to pull
use,
it
let's
or
put
to
it that
push
way.
it.
They're more like, nowadays they're more likely to be used like some kind of beach hut. Okay, but some of them are being restored. You can read about them online. But the idea was that they would be used as changing rooms. Okay. Is that okay, April?
Yeah, but I meant somebody has to pull it or to push
Yeah,
it.
sometimes they had
No?
men doing that job. Other times it would be a pulley system. And I think sometimes they even had donkeys or horses doing it. Okay. And they actually went out into the sea. The carriages would then float on the tide. And then when the tide went out, they'd be pulled back up onto the beach. Okay.
Oh, strange.
I know. That's the Victorians. They were an odd lot, you know. Okay, so tough guy. Here's the link of the document that we're reading from. So that was Traum, wasn't it? Rima, as you've just joined, let's get you to. Have you got the document open, Rima?
Yeah, yeah,
Okay, if you could
I
read
got it.
slide number 4.
Okay. The United Kingdom saw the popularization of seaside resorts, and nowhere was this more obvious than in Blackpool. Blackpool catered for walkers from across industrial northern England who packed its beaches and promenade. Other northern towns, for example, Bridlington, Cleethorpes, Morecambe, Scarborough, Skegness, and Southport, shared in the success of this new concept, and especially from trade during Wakes weeks. The concept spread rapidly to other British coastal towns, including several on the coast of North Wales, notably Rhyl and Llandudno, the largest resorts in Wales and known as the Queen of the Welsh Resorts, from as early as 1864. As the 19th century progressed, British working class day trippers travelled on organized trips such as railway excursions or by steamer, for which long piers were erected so that the ships bringing the trade could berth.
Very good. Well done. Nicely done. Okay, no problem, Traum. We seem to have lost you actually. I think you've crashed. You might need to relog. I don't know. Can anybody else see Traum? I can't actually see her anywhere.
No.
Okay, let's.
Maybe she's racing, but I cannot see her.
Yeah, it might be your resing. It might be that you've landed somewhere else, Traum. Try and land on top of my head again, if you can. Okay. Okay, so nicely read. Couple of words, and then we'll talk about any questions. Okay, so nowhere, not now where, nowhere. So it's no and where. No plus where. Okay, try it, Rima.
Okay, nowhere.
That's it. And then catered. To cater for something.
Catered.
Yeah, to cater for something or someone. Whoop. So, for example, hotels cater for your accommodation. They might cater for your to feed you. Catering tends to be about food and drink, etc. Yeah, but you can also cater to somebody. I suppose the Learn English Network caters to your English learning needs. Okay.
Like that's like for catering. This is just a verb.
Yep, to
Which
cater.
fits.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
Okay.
They
okay.
catered for.
Cater.
Yeah. So just basically to provide something. It's often
To provide
related
a
with
service.
food. Yeah, to provide a service or a particular thing. It's often with food, but you can cater for all kinds of needs. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. And then Morecambe.
Morecambe. Okay,
Yeah, it's a very
I thought
famous
it's
place.
Some kind of, it sounds like a place in Africa.
Oh, that's funny. I'd love to tell the people of Morecambe that.
Morecambe.
Are you in Africa?
No.
And well done with Rhyl and Llandudno. That double L in Welsh is Llandudno. And don't be. Aren't you glad you're not learning Welsh now? Eh? Okay, so nicely read. Any questions?
What is the difference between cater to and cater for, Lynn?
Cater for is more a sort of classic, you cater for a party. To cater to, it implies more the person, yeah? But it's very much, to cater to his needs or to cater to his ego. Okay, it's more to do with the person. But to cater for would be more to do with the event. Okay.
For instance, to cater to his ego is to flatter
Yes.
him.
To do everything to make that person feel
Oh,
important.
you are so great.
Satisfy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Any other questions? And this kind of ties in nicely with our Victorian sessions, because this all happened about the same time. Suddenly there was public transport, mass transport, cheap transport, and people could go to places and get to and also they were working and earning a living wage. Some, the middle classes especially, they were earning more. They had what they never had before, disposable income, and they wanted to spend it on, but they were working hard as well, and they were living in horrible, smoky, polluted cities. So the whole idea was to get away from it all. A concept that didn't really enter people's heads before, unless you were some kind of intrepid explorer or something. This idea of to get away from it. Get away from what? Okay. So we'll go to slide 5, and I think, Shiny, it's your turn. If you could read the text on slide 5. Shiny, are you with us? Can anybody hear Shiny, or is it just me?
Hello.
Ah, there you are.
I'm sorry. Margate in Kent is regarded as England's first
No, next,
seaside
the next
resort.
one, the next one. You're on the one
The
that,
next one?
yeah, the next slide. So slide number 5.
Oh, sorry. Yeah.
That's okay.
Some resorts, especially those more southerly ones, such as Bournemouth, and Brighton, were built as new towns or extended by local landowners to appeal to wealthier holidaymakers. Others came about due to their proximity to large urban areas of population, such as Southend-on-Sea, which became increasingly popular with residents of London once rail links were established to it, allowing day trips from the city. From the last quarter of the 20th century, the popularity of the British seaside resort has declined for the same reason, that its first flourished advancements in transport, the greater accessibility of foreign holiday destinations through package holidays, and more recently, European low-cost airlines affords people the freedom to holiday abroad. In 1975, some 9,000 British families holidayed abroad, but by the mid 1980s, that figure had risen to some 20,000. A decade later, the figure was around 30,000. This decline is illustrated in Morrissey song "Every Day Is Like Sunday," where daily life in the resort is likened to the emptiness of streets once associated with the shop closures on Sunday.
Very good, well done. Very good, well done. And I can see your doggy trying to join in. He wants to read too, absolutely. Okay, so couple of words. Yeah, you kind of need these first two because they're very popular seaside resorts. So the first one, Bournemouth. Okay, we don't say mouth, we tend to say must. Bournemouth, Exmouth. Okay, try it.
Bournemouth.
Yeah, Bournemouth. Bournemouth, that's it. And Brighton. Brighton.
Brighton.
When I go to England this July actually, I will be going to Brighton. It'll be nice. Then proximity, in close proximity, to be nearby. Yeah, proximity. Try it.
Proximity.
Good. Then the next one, it was written in full. It was written using the word 20th, but it's the same pronunciation, of course.
20th.
That's it. Good. Then transport, not stress transport. It's just transport. The stress is on the first syllable. Okay.
Transport.
Transport. That's it. That's it. And then had risen. Okay, it's from the verb to rise, but it's an irregular verb. So to rise, rose, risen. Had risen. Try it.
Had risen.
Good. And the last one, emptiness.
Emptiness.
Hey, very good. Any questions? I mean, the song by Morrissey doesn't really apply anymore because, of course, everything's open on a Sunday in the UK now. But when I was growing up, everything was shut on a Sunday. You're welcome, Shiny.
Yeah,
Rima?
he wanted to compare like the day when Brits are on their vacation.
It's more the area. And if we say an area is dead, yeah? Oh, it's dead here. Do you know what that means?
That here, like no one.
Yeah,
like
no one.
Ghost town.
Closed down, but not just that. No one there. Nothing happening.
Ghost town.
Ghost town. Yeah,
Like
this
ghost
town is going like a ghost town. Okay, so what we're going to do now, this is a bit of a sing-song session, this one. We're going to actually look at the song, okay? So, who's going to read the song? Who hasn't read yet? We've got April Trow. Monique! You did so well with the last song. You don't have to sing it, okay?
Tough guy, Lynn. Just
Tough Guy hasn't read yet. Tough Guy, do you want to read it? Slide 6. Have you got voice, Tough Guy? Can we hear you? Can you hear us?
Yes.
Okay, so would you like to read the song? Just the lyrics, you don't have to sing.
Okay. Trudging slowly over wet sand, back to the bench where your clothes were stolen. This is the coastal town that they forgot to close down. Armageddon, come Armageddon, come Armageddon, come. Every day's like Sunday, every day's silent and grey. Hide on the promenade. Etch a postcard, how I dearly wish I wasn't here. In the seaside town, that they forgot to bomb. Come, 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 nuclear bomb. Every day is like Sunday, every day is silent and grey, trudging back over pebble and sand, and a strange dust lands on your hands and on your face. Every day is like Sunday. Win yourself a cheap tray. Share some grease tea with me. Every day is silent and grey.
Very good.
Done.
Okay, not the most cheerful song ever written, but that's Morrissey for you. Any questions? If you think about it, this is written from the perspective of a young person. And it shows you that some people's dreams, everybody dreams of going to retire by the sea, but it becomes other people's nightmares. Greased tea. Okay, have you ever heard of a greasy spoon cafe?
A greasy spoon cafe?
Yep, a greasy spoon cafe.
No.
Yeah, sometimes just called a greasy spoon. It's the sort of cafe where they'd sell greased tea. It's tea with a thin film of grease on the top, floating, because maybe the mug wasn't washed up correctly or the pot's very old, and it's just awful. Exactly, Trout. Have
Oh
you ever
my
had... Welcome to the UK. It's just the one I grew up in. Have you ever tried it, Traum?
No, no, thank you.
No, thank you.
No, no.
Okay.
Once I read it in a Spotlight magazine, and I asked myself, can you see a greasy cafe from the outside or from the inside? That's
What you mean?
it's
Can you
greasy.
spot it?
It's,
Can you spot that it is one? It's actually, you can get some really nice things in a greasy spoon cafe. Don't be too much of a snob. Okay, some of them are very well run, and they're where truckers go for breakfast. People, lorry drivers would go there for breakfast. They tend to look a little bit sort of American diner-ish in a way. I'd say that it's like a truck stop, if you like. And a lot of them are very hygienic, and they serve very nice tea. Quite strong, builder's tea, but good tea. But you might occasionally get one where you think, oh God, I can see a film of grease on my tea, and the bacon's swim, your breakfast is swimming in grease, and so you just have to look and see what the customers look like before you go in. But they are cheap. They are very cheap, okay? Oh dear. The things that the British Tourist Board don't tell you about. But greasy, yes. Not greasy spoon is more of an indication that a lot of stuff there is fried, okay? You have fried bacon, fried egg, fried toast, fried bread, I mean. And of course, if you're going to fry everything and then you use a teaspoon that's got a bit of oil on it, you might get greasy tea. Any questions? Let's have a look what Rima's found us. Oh my goodness, I dread.
It's Morrissey holding
excellent. Well, I've been to see him live. He's very good, but he is quite well known for quite being controversial. Strict vegetarian, strict vegan. Meat is murder and all that. I think that's the one of his. But he's also a bit of a miserabilist. Okay, so when he sings, he tends to sing. I think he was the one who sang the wonderful song "Girlfriend in a Coma," which is just like, huh? It's a brilliant song, really good song. And if a 10-ton bus crashes into us, to die by your side, the pleasure, the privilege is mine. Nobody writes songs like that anymore.
Irish Blood,
English Heart. Yeah, we do play him on English radio. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I'm so agree. I so agree with his second sentence. Back to the bands where your clothes were stolen.
Yes.
Oh, if you go to the water, you need to bring everything with you, otherwise
I'm
it will be
afraid so. In the
stolen.
UK and other parts of the world too, you can't just leave your stuff unattended on the beach. You've either got to have a friend who'll look after it for you, or you have to take everything with you. It's a shame, isn't it? But it is the way it is. That's the way of the world. But very nicely read, tough guy. Well done.
Is trudging staggering?
No. If you trudge, so for example, when Monique and I were walking through the sand, it's quite heavy going, walking through sand. So you can't walk or skip or run, you trudge. It's heavy and you're having to pick your feet up through the sand. It's a bit of hard work. Okay? To trudge. I don't know if you've ever walked through sand, but if you walk for a long way along a beach, it's very good for your calf muscles. But it's hard work. Or in the snow, absolutely, April. If it's very deep snow, yep, you can end up trudging through the snow. Anything that starts being hard work when you're walking, okay? Even when you're tired, you start trudging. You're not, oh no, I've got to put another foot in front of the other. I've got to do it. I don't want to though. Any questions? How are we doing for time? Right, we've run out of time, so we'll carry on next week, okay? And we've still got a little bit to read about the seaside. Not next week, next session. Very difficult not to say next week, okay? And we'll be in Google Plus, in Hangouts, jammy thingy, in 25 minutes-ish to carry on reading and listening about hipsters, okay? You're
Not in
welcome.
Webinar Jam.
In Webinar Jam, yes.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so you should have the link. It's the same link. If you just go to the forum, it is the same link. So you should be able to. And I hope the crab hasn't eaten all your toes, Monique.
Let's see.
He is a big crab, isn't he? You're quite right. How be
I'm
delicious.
still complete.
Good.
Oh, I like it.
Mind you, I hope you haven't ruined your shoes putting them in the salt water like that. Okay, thanks ever so much for coming. Take care, and I'll see you next session. Don't forget, next week all my sessions are on hold for the next couple of weeks whilst I'm away, and then I will be back. Just keep an eye on the calendar. But Marion will be running sessions whilst I'm away on Skype, so you won't be missing out. Okay. Cool. I maybe see you later. If not, I'll see you in the next session. Bye. See you soon.
Bye-bye.
Bye, thanks you.
Bye, guys.
Of us just sit where we're standing. Okay. There you go. I'll just sit cross-legged here. Okay, here comes Shiny, fighting her way through the sand. Now, we're going to do some reading today. I'm going to try doing it a little differently. Okay. So what I'm going to try to do is share a document with you on presentation mode. Okay.
You are sure that the tide is not doesn't go in, Nelly?
The tide is going out. I had a look at the times. I looked at the tide table, so we should be okay. Well, Shiny's decided Traum needs to be buried in the sand. No, you can't move me. I would suggest you sit to make yourself safe from Shiny. Okay. Just sit on the rock you were sat on, Monique. Okay, so welcome to Kitely, and let's talk about it. we're going to be discussing further the seaside, and I'd just like to ask anybody a little observation test. Can you see any difference between this week and last week? Is anything changed? Between yesterday and today, if you were in yesterday's session.
You mean the difference, maybe?
Sorry, Monique. I think I'm going to have to turn my volume up. No, I'm going deaf. It's terrible. Okay.
Dunes, yeah, like a dunes. Yeah, dunes.
Yeah, we got sand dunes. Now, how can sand dunes suddenly appear along a beach? How could that happen? They weren't here last week. They weren't even here yesterday. What might have happened? Not so much a sandstorm, though. That's more of a deserty thing.
We're working hard on your landscape, but I would say that maybe or the natural way would be because of the wind.
The wind can bring the sand in or out, yeah? What's more likely, though, considering where we are?
After a tsunami.
The wind or the weather, the tide, yeah. If there's a storm, a heavy storm, literally this is one of the fun things about, careful going into the dunes, Monique. That we talked about being buried in the sand. Yep, could happen.
Uh-huh.
So yes, last week we talked about the tides and storms, and it can happen that overnight the whole landscape changes. And living by the sea is lovely, but it does have its drawbacks, which includes, as you can see along the promenade here, there are piles of sand which will need to be swept back onto the beach, and things can just change overnight. One big storm and it could all be gone. There was a news story we might read next week, actually. I stop thinking in time and start thinking in sessions. So the next time we come back, we'll move down the coast and we'll have a look at some more of the vocabulary you can use for Poldark country. Okay, so we're going to move inland. We're going to move out to the sea a bit. As you can see, the tide is out. So follow me. There's a couple of other things that have changed. You'll have to fight your way through the sand. Okay. And out to the shoreline. And this is one of my favourite pastimes when I'm at the seaside, I have to admit. So some of the rocks are, you can lie on one, you can sit on the other. The others aren't scripted. So Monique's already got herself a nice position.
I make myself comfortable.
Yeah, make yourself at home. But do be careful. It's not all it's cracked up to be, this... So there's this one in front of tram you can lie on. If you just right click and sit, you can lie on it. And I suggest the rest about that. What that actually happened to a community. They lost their beach overnight. 20 years later, it came back again. Oh, watch Poldark, exactly, yeah. April. Actually, April, we'll discuss that next week, if you don't mind, because I'd already prepared something for this week about, the British seaside resort. But yes, the picture you shared was lovely, and Poldark country is very specific landscape. So maybe next week we can move along the beach a bit over towards the cliffs, and we can discuss that vocab.
Yeah, but next week there is no session.
Oh no, there's the next time, the next session, I should say. Thank you. Yes, thank you. No, I've got to go to Frankfurt next week. I've got to go into the city to look at some. Yeah, it's all a bit businessy next week, and then I'm away, and then So thanks for the reminder. Okay, I'll be giving a little announcement on Friday anyway, just to warn everybody. But check the calendar, which I should do myself. I always say, when I say next week, I kind of mean next session. I need to change my vocabulary a bit so that